What's good with y'all? It's been your boy Nehemiah, aka Neo, and today we're just gonna be talking about the Sacramento Kings. I haven't been uploading that much. That's because of schoolwork. But once the Christmas time hits around, once it's like January, bro, I'm gonna be going in. But yeah, let's just talk about the Sacramento Kings so far. And as y'all can see, they have a 7 game win streak. Y'all know how long it's been since they had a 7 game win streak? It's been before I was alive, or like '04 or '05, I forgot. But I was born in '03. It's been that long. Like it was around the time when I was born, bro. Like this team is actually hitting their stride right now. It's really good to see. Now you may be like, oh, what's causing this? They may be the worst defensive team in the NBA, or one of the worst at least. But their offense has been impeccable, and that's from the forefront of De'Aaron Fox, Kavon. He's Kavon Herter now, bro. I'm sorry. He's Kavon Herter now. Even Domantas Sabonis is actually doing some pretty good work, especially with his playmaking combined with De'Aaron Fox. And even their rookie, Keegan Allen or Keegan Murray. I'm thinking Keegan Allen. I don't know. But Keegan Murray has been really awesome for them this year. Even a guy like Malik Monk is doing really well. And personally, I think that this team just has a lot that they could go for. But let's just talk about one thing that makes the Sacramento Kings the Sacramento Kings. They're one of the best shooting three-pointing teams in the NBA. They shoot a lot. Not only that, but they make a lot. That's something really good to see, especially because they have such good increases in both those stats this year. They're the first in the league in scoring, actually, which is actually pretty surprising. And even though they're not the best defensive team, they're still making it so that they are being competitive in every game because they're going to outscore you, and that's going to be something that they can really rely on, honestly. Now you may be like, oh well, if this team isn't, this team may not be the team that's going to make the playoffs. And I'm like, I don't know about that, man. Like some of these teams are looking like booty cheeks right now. I know that the Lakers, these are definitely locks to not make the playoffs this season. Well, not the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors are probably going to still make the playoffs. But the thing about the Sacramento Kings right now is that their offense looks sustainable. Their offense looks like they could really just do this for the rest of the year. Now, thinking about who they could be over is the problem. The West is really stacked right now. The Utah Jazz are a team that are probably going to stay there. Even the team like Portland, Denver, Dallas, Memphis. Let me not say them. Like, these are definitely, like, locks, in my opinion. These are definitely locks, and this is already, 8 teams? Then we have a team like the Golden State Warriors, Minnesota Timberwolves, who are going to be in that playing position if they are still going to continue their struggles, even though I don't think that both their teams are going to continue with their struggles. So I think that that's going to be a thing to look at for the Sacramento Kings, but at least for right now, they're still looking like a better team than any of those teams that I just mentioned. I think that their offense is just really, really, really key. And they're able to just, do enough on the offensive end, They're able to just outscore them, as I've said before. Now, this is honestly not a hot take at this point, but De'Aaron Fox is honestly not only an all-star, but he's honestly approaching an all-NBA status. He's honestly one of the best players on the planet. He's probably, if I were to rank a top 30, he's definitely on my top 30. In fact, I still have to make my top 20 list. He may even be on that. I don't even know. But he's just so electric. He's able to control the tempo of the game. His really two-point scoring is just insane. Shooting this much from that range is crazy. And if I'm not mistaken, he's taking a really big jump from his mid-range shots too. Yeah, so this is his shooting from around these splits. Well, no, that's not the one that I'm looking for. It's this. All right. So, again, he's actually shooting a crazy amount. Bro, this is borderline elite, if not all-time status in terms of shooting. Let's just pull up a guy like Giannis. And, you could say something like, oh, Giannis gets fouled a lot more. And that's true. But even then, man, like, Giannis is not doing what De'Aaron Fox is doing in the paint. And you could be like, oh, well, Giannis shoots a lot more from the paint. And, yeah, that's true. But, like, bro, it's still impressive nonetheless. Like, how is he like Giannis' biggest margin was 83%. This is more than that. Even in the playoffs, his biggest margin was 83%. This dude is averaging like a substantial amount more than that. And while I would say that most of his, like Giannis's field goals are definitely a lot more impressive from there because he's shooting like what 30, he's essentially doubling his sample size. But even then, De'Aaron Fox as a smaller guard, you can really just look at that and be like, oh well, he's obviously just gonna make more baskets that are tougher than what Giannis can do. Even though Giannis is still one of the best players, if not the best player in the NBA. But that's not what we're gonna be here to talk about. His mid-range shot has just increased. Like look. Like he's shooting by far his best from the mid range from both this, essentially from the short mid range to the long like mid range. Because look, like it's not even close. He's averaging like a whole 10% above like for both these margins. The only thing is he's not shooting the best from like this long mid range. But even then, he shot like a really low percentage that year. So I don't really think that that's going to be the case. Not only that, but his shooting overall is just like insane. So I think that he's definitely an all NBA caliber player, at least for right now, if he's going to keep up this production. This team may be very similar to the Cavaliers last year, where not a lot of teams or not a lot of people did think that they were going to have the roster to really make it so that they were going to be a playoff team, but they are. I think that they are. They are the offensive version of the Cleveland Cavaliers last year, in my opinion. Now, some other players, Kevin Huerter is actually shooting like he's probably like in the 70s in terms of true shooting, like some crazy like that. Yeah, he's near 70. It's some crazy. Like I think that this trade for Kevin Huerter is actually one of the better trades that they could have made. They are notorious for not making the best trades, but I think that this is one of the better trades that they could have had. What else? Keegan Murray is also putting up some solid numbers, as I said before. The only thing is, I think they're probably going to move on from Harrison Barnes from this season because I don't think that Harrison Barnes is going to impact the game that they really want anymore. I think that they already have a guy like Sabonis, so probably just going to get another power forward to really just fit into that spot. That's a little bit better. Although, sorry if you hear something in the background. That's my housemate. But even a guy like Davion Mitchell is able to put in some solid minutes when he's on the floor. If I'm not mistaken, he had that 20-point per game outing when De'Aaron Fox wasn't playing. And, this team just has a lot. This team just has a lot, in my opinion. Even a guy like Domantas Sabonis, who hasn't been putting up the gaudy numbers that he has in Indiana, he's not putting up this numbers, but he's still doing enough, He's still impacting the offensive plays as much as he can. Even compared to last year, he hasn't been he's been at least a little bit better in terms of the playmaking. He's been a little bit better in terms of his fit on the roster, kind of struggling with this or finding out what they really want to do with this. Now, what does this mean overall for this kind of Kings team? And I've been saying this for the biggest bit of the year. The Sacramento Kings ultimately needed to trade away one of Tyrese Halliburton or De'Aaron Fox. They just didn't play together well. And look at it last year. Even De'Aaron Fox wasn't playing that good until the trade season happened. He was averaging 25 points per game before and after. And during this season, the only reason why he didn't average that much is because of the slow start. Look at before the trade deadline. If I'm not mistaken, the trade deadline happened around here. He just wasn't averaging the best. He averaged really bad numbers, in my opinion, compared to his status, at least. And then once the trade deadline kind of hit, these last couple of games, he averaged 29 points. We see the clear difference that he wasn't the player that he was when a guy like Tyrese Halliburton was dressing up. But when he wasn't there, we could see he's averaging a lot more points, a lot more assists. If I'm not mistaken, he actually got traded around here, so. Yeah, still 29 points per game. So I think that the Sacramento Kings, have made the right move to actually trade away Tyrese Halliburton. That being said, I think that Tyrese Halliburton could still be better than De'Aaron Fox, but the thing is, De'Aaron Fox is still one of the best players in the NBA in terms of just pure scoring, pure playmaking. And I think that they, as a franchise, wanted to see a little bit more upside from De'Aaron Fox. I think that they probably could have gotten a little less than what they got for Tyrese Halliburton, so I think that that's the reason why. But yeah, it's been your boy Nehemiah, aka Neo. I'm really happy to see that the Sacramento Kings are probably going to break their playoff drought within the next few years, if not this year. And let me know what you guys think about this team. this video may do really, really bad, but I do think that this team has what it takes to be an NBA playoff team. So yeah, it's been your boy Nehemiah, aka Neo. Hope y'all have a good one.